All right, guys. Welcome to my cozy garden. Anyway, so I want to show you what my hydro plants look like after 22 days of growing. Everything is sprouted, which I'm really happy about. Some of the plants are doing really, really well, especially my tomatoes. So I'm going to repot them today, so I want to show you that next. I mean, look at those plants. So these are my tomato plants growing on this side. These are my 4th of July ones, and I've got 4 of them. They're all almost the same size. This one's really nice and big. And on my planter here, my AeroGarden, this is called the Bounty Basic. Right now it says medium on this display here. That means my water level is at medium level. Doesn't mean I have to fill it yet, but I can definitely see down there that the water's a little low. Again, if you refill it with water, make sure you're using water that's either distilled or a filtered water. And if you don't, make sure the water is sitting out for at least 24 hours in an open container. I'd probably even say even longer. So anyway, we are going to repot these today. So I have my little pots here, okay? And I've got my sticks to label my pots of what plant is in there. It's very crucial. So I do one plant at a time. Now I want to show you this too. As you take this out of the planter, you can see that root system. Now I want to take these out of here pretty soon here because the root system starts to get tied up around this plastic and it really is hard to get out. And it also can damage the root system. So I try not to let them grow too big. Now, if you're going to use your planter box or your hydro pots throughout the year with plants, you can do that as well. But you know that root system is going to get really big inside the base of this. Okay, I've done it before. But we're going to plant these in our garden this spring. So let's get them planted. All right, so to start with, I'm only going to use my tomatoes today. I'm going to plant those, okay? And I want to move them a space apart from each other to give them enough room. So we have 4 of them. So we have 1, 2, 3, and obviously we can't do that one. So we might put one right in the middle. Now, the first thing you want to do is add a bit of soil to your pots here, okay? So add a little bit down on the bottom. So let me take one of these tomatoes out of there. And of course I know which ones I'm doing because I've already labeled everything. All right, sorry, I'm off screen a bit. So what I like to do is I like to take the sticks here that you mark them with and push the plant upward. If you have a small knife, you could use that too. And then pull the plant. Take your time and pull it from here and pull it straight up and try not to break the root system too much. And just set your pot aside, okay? Now we're going to go ahead and put this right inside our pots here. And that's where I kind of go in there just like that, okay? And we're going to build the soil around it. So as you can see, it's sitting in there nicely. I can move it up here a little bit more, just like that, okay? So I'm just going to build that soil around it, kind of pack it in. And we'll stand it back straight up so we can get all the way around it. Just want to make sure it's right in the middle. And these, as you know, these are biodegradable pots, right? So as they are ready to be planted, you don't have to worry about taking your plant out of them. You just plant the whole thing right in the ground. Okay, just like so. Go ahead and pack that in a little bit, all the way around, just like so. And you make a little bit of a mess, but that's why I have this sitting on a canvas. And it's on my ping pong table too, so we're okay, right? And make sure you fill it up nicely. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to water it really well. Now, one thing about hydro plants, I should say, once they've been growing in hydro water like that, in a water system, they're really used to a lot of water, so you really want to make sure these stay pretty wet for at least like the first week or so that your plants are in there. So just make sure they stay nice and wet. And that's basically it. So we're ready to finish the rest of them up, and I'll show you at the end here. I'll mark them with the date and what type of plant it is, and they'll be ready this spring, and I'll show you how we plant everything out in the garden. All right, there you have it. I've got all 4 of my tomatoes potted. I've got them labeled. I have what variety of tomato it is or what type of plant, and the date of when I planted it. So there you have it. I'm going to show you next with my planters. I'm going to plant some more seeds. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cross off on my Post-it here the tomatoes that I've just planted. Okay, so I still got a single jalapeno, and these are 4 eggplants that are growing on this side. I may go ahead and plant this eggplant since it's getting larger. I want to take a look at the root system on it just to see. Oh, look at that. Yep, I think I'm going to replant that. But I will wait because I'm going to go ahead and plant a couple other things first. So, now this is my other box here. I'll show you. And I've got a couple more tomatoes that are growing on this side. In the center here, I've got 3 pepper plants. These are sweet pepper plants. And on this side here, I've got some other tomatoes that are growing too. Okay. These are looking kind of wimpy, so hopefully they come around and get better. These are looking pretty nice though. But I want to plant something back in my other box here in the 4 spots that are now open. Now, what do I want to plant? What I think I might do is I might go ahead and plant my squash and cucumber. But I think I'll probably do 2 of each is kind of what I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and fill up our plastic sleeve, which I took out. Sorry, I'm kind of walking around here. So they are here. I'll put them up on top so you can see them, just like so. Okay. I'm just going to reuse them. I mean, I've been doing it all along. I've got new ones too, but I don't want to use them unless I have to. So here's my planter pods. Put those inside. Now cucumbers and squash I could probably just plant in the ground, but I want to give everything a head start. I've had a bit of a problem with some of my growing last year, so I want to give everything a bit of a head start, okay? All right, so in these first 2 here, I'm going to put my cucumbers in. Now the cucumber seeds are a lot larger, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that one. Actually, instead of putting that in the sleeve first, that was probably a bad idea. It's hard to get the seed in, which I just managed to drop. That's why I use tweezers. Okay, so slide that in the hole. I'm going to just tap it in there. And then go ahead and put that right in that sleeve there. There we go. Okay. Take the next one out. And seed inside the hole there. Stick it down in there. The hole doesn't go very deep. All right, and we'll go ahead and put that one right there in the back. So those are both my cucumbers, and now these both in the front here will be squash. So here's a squash seed. This is a lot larger. I'm just going to set that or push that right in there. It's hard to get in that. I'm going to turn it around here. I'm not sure if it matters, but I'm just going to push that down inside and in the sleeve, plastic sleeve, okay? And the last one. Now I'll have to do new Post-it with the correct items on there. So here we go again. Slide that down inside. They don't have a very deep hole, but shouldn't matter at all. So water is going to, it'll touch the bottom here and it soaks up inside and goes all the way to the top. Okay, drop those in. And again, we want to put our domes on top. These are our little solar domes. And as you can tell right now, my planter's not, the light's not on, but I can hear the water circulating. Okay, there we go. Now all I got to do is mark my post-it. So let's get that. Okay, so we got left side, cucumber, right, squash. But I can tell by the seed, it's a lot bigger. Okay, and this, I'm going to write that these are all on the left side. That's it. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put this on. I'm going to put the date on here, 3/3. And I always take my Post-its and I just stick them down here toward the bottom. You can put them on the top up here on the lamp, but that's fine there. And that's it, guys. I think the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to repot that eggplant, but make sure you label it, okay? I've gotten confused with some of my plants over the years. But, okay, well, I'm going to let you guys go for now. I'm just going to repot that plant. Okay, one last thing I wanted to mention, now that I got everything potted there, and I did pot the one eggplant, which I put right here. And I may separate these out a little bit more just to keep them a little bit more distance between the plants. And I've got more of these plastic planter sleeves here, these trays. I've got more of those so I can move plants around quite a bit. But what I wanted to show you is make sure that you keep this close to your hydro planters, because this light will come on and it'll give the plants a lot of light later in the night too when there's no light outside. So it's really important to keep them close to your hydropot planters, okay? Or hydro planter pots. So that's my big take on the day. And make sure you water them nicely and keep them watered. Again, like I said, hydro plants, they're growing in water, so they want a lot of water right away because that's how they're just used to that, okay? All right, well, we'll let you guys go for now. We'll keep on showing the progress as we go.